What is going on, guys? All right. Let me get this tweet out real quick, and then we will go over the most recent news, and then I'll get to probably as many questions as I possibly can. I'm not sure how many people are playing on this 2-game slate, but it's looking like a nice one. Okay. What's going on, Sean, William, Gail, J Flyer, Ethan? Took the Lakers and Wizards first half -4. I like it. Yeah, I mean, especially first half, I think is definitely in play for the Lakers, maybe even more so than the full game. We know that Steph Curry, Draymond Green are going to be out for the Golden State Warriors, and we're going to see all three of the Lakers stars playing together for the very first time. So I know we're going to see them for the first half at least, and we know for a fact that Green and Steph Curry are not going to be playing. So yeah, Lakers first half -4. I like that quite a bit. You the go, appreciate it, man. Still on Barnes on FanDuel? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I still think that he plays mid-20s minutes tonight against a fast, poor defensive Washington Wizards team with no Fred VanVleet, no OG Anunoby. I think that he should be the offense tonight, and he can get it done in all aspects. I mean, rebounding, assisting, stocks. He doesn't need to just score, and he should be out there for extensive time. Nick Nurse and the Trailblazers are relying on Scotty Barnes to be a key piece of this team, especially early on in the season while they don't have Pascal Siakam, Chris Boucher. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Scotty Barnes early on in the season, and they need to get him as many repetitions as they can in the preseason to get him going. And yeah, I like Scotty Barnes quite a bit because, like, you see in these other preseason games when Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby would end their games in the third quarter, Scotty Barnes would come back out and play in the fourth quarter with the rest of the guys. So we might see 3, maybe 4 quarters of that from Scotty Barnes. Scotty or Beal. Beal is the best spend up on the slate. If you guys have not heard, the Washington Wizards are playing, they're treating this game like a dress rehearsal, like I predicted in my game notes and in my video earlier. I was saying that this is either going to be a dress rehearsal game for them, or they are going to rest some guys and then use the next game for a dress rehearsal. But it is in fact, this game is the dress rehearsal for them playing mid to high 20s minutes. We already got confirmation on that. So Bradley Beal, the best spend up on the slate. You go back to last year without Westbrook on the court, over a 40% usage rating, 1.4 fantasy points per minute with no Russell Westbrook on the court. Spencer Dinwiddie, I think, is an amazing play at 5.5K. Go back and look at the rotations of these preseason games. Him and Bradley Beal's minutes are staggered for a lot of the time, so whoever is out there on the court is running the offense. Obviously, they are going to play next to each other at times, but a lot of the time they're not even out there next to each other, and that's going to bode well for both of their fantasy productions. Gafford, Montrezl Harrell are in a full-blown depth chart battle for who is going to be the starting center with before Thomas Bryant ends up returning in December. So we are going to see them play 24 minutes in this game. I think that they probably split all 48 center minutes today. We saw them split 44 of the center minutes last game. So I think that's the bare minimum. We're going to see 44 minutes out of the two of those guys. They are more than fine playing next to each other. Montrezl Harrell has been an absolute monster in his entire career whenever he's given minutes. And I'm not afraid to play both of them together. Daniel Gafford last year, 1.22 fantasy points per minute, 1.3 fantasy points per minute with no Westbrook on the court, and we can expect around 22 minutes from him at 5.1K. Probably my favorite point per dollar play on the slate outside of Spencer Dinwiddie. Like my favorite value. I love him. I think he's going to be under-owned on FanDuel due to Precious Achiuwa. I think Precious over on FanDuel is a fine play, but I think Daniel Gafford gets my slight lean over there. Kyle Kuzma, he's sub 5K. Him versus Juan Toscano Anderson is going to be a tough one. And then just go over the Golden State Warriors thing real earlier. I also thought that there was a good chance that they rested some veterans. Steve Kerr alluded to it yesterday that they were planning on resting one or two of the veterans in these next 2 games. He left that opportunity open. And then we got word early in the day, which is pretty surprising, that Steph Curry and Draymond Green are going to be out in this game. So they already announced that Damian Lee and Juan Toscano Anderson are going to be the replacements in the starting lineup. And I think both of those guys are great plays today. I would consider both of them A-tier plays. I think that they probably play mid-20s minutes, and then that really opens things up for Jordan Poole at 6.8K. I think that guy is an absolute stud on this slate. Thoughts on Cameron Oliver? I'm not on him. I think that the Lakers run their guys into the third quarter tonight. Does that make Harrell a lock on FanDuel? Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a look at the centers on FanDuel, it is absolutely barren. DeAndre Jordan, can't really play him or Dwight Howard because we know that Anthony Davis is going to start at the 5 today. We already have confirmation on that. So both these guys are getting kicked from the starting lineup. Yeah, so I'm not really on either of the Lakers guys. Kevon Looney, I suppose, would be like a decent play. Ken Burch is going to play backup to Precious Achiuwa. He played over 20 minutes last game, so he is in consideration, but Montrezl Harrell is the guy that I'm really focusing on over here on FanDuel at the center position. Look at Nick Nurse quote about the bottom roster guys worried about Raptors. Yeah, that doesn't really concern me all that much. See, the only guys I'm really considering from the Raptors right now is Scotty Barnes and Delonto Banton, and so that's why I'm not really concerned about that news. If you guys haven't heard about it, he was talking about how he wanted to get looks at the deep bench guys. I think Delonto Banton can be considered as one of those guys, and then Scotty Barnes is a special case where they really just want to get him repetitions in this game. And so I think that he is a good play still. Maybe guys like Gary Trent Jr., Goran Dragic specifically. I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Goran Dragic. But if you watched my video earlier, I was talking about how I think that he's only going to be playing in the first half, just like because he rested last game and Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby played, but they only played in the first half. And now today, OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet are resting and Dragic is playing. And so I think Dragic is only going to play in the first half. And that's possibly what we're going to see from Gary Trent Jr. as well. So I'm kind of off Gary Trent Jr. I really wasn't on him anyways, but more so uninterested in him. So I'm really focusing on Delano Banton at the bare minimum, focusing on Scotty Barnes. He's $8,000. Small forward at a very, very weak position on FanDuel. Thoughts on Precious and Bonga. So yeah, Bonga's grabbing the start today. Nick Nurse was impressed with what he did last game. And so maybe they get him an extended look. I just don't like him all that much. He's more of a point guard than a big out there. And he's going to be playing next to Goran Dragic. So I don't really see how he gets to too many fantasy points. And he's at 4.6K at a pretty crowded forward position right there. Kyle Kuzma, Juan Toscano Anderson are much better plays for $200 more. And I would also consider Kent Bazemore to him at a forward position for a little bit less. Can I play 4 Wizards in DK GPP? Absolutely. I think the Wizards are the best plays on the entire slate. Not only are they affordable, but we know where the production is going to come from, and we know that they are going to play mid to high 20s minutes today. Maybe Montrez and Gafford are probably not going to play mid 20s. They're probably going to play about 22 minutes, but that is more than enough for both of those guys. They are incredible per minute producers. Flynn or Rondo? I'm going to go with Flynn there. Poole or AD? That's tough, man. It's probably Poole for me, but I like both. I would be playing both. Best 4K dart throw, Delano Banton. And I don't really consider him a dart throw. I think he's a good play. And if you want to get off of Delano Banton, it would be Wayne Ellington for me. I'm expecting him and Kent Bazemore to grab the starts next to the 3 studs on the Lakers tonight. Favorite GPP play on DK? Probably Montrezl Harrell. I don't think anyone's playing Montrezl Harrell tonight just because Gafford's cheaper and Gafford's grabbing the start. The Wizards -8 a good play? Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think that they do probably beat the brakes off of them, so I don't mind it. It has slowly inflated as the day has gone on. It would have been better to get on them earlier, but -8, I still think that Wizards get that done. if I had a lean. Best Lakers going to be Anthony Davis first, then LeBron, then Russell Westbrook, then Kent Bazemore for me, then Wayne Ellington. Yeah, Beal is playing mid to high 20s tonight. We already got confirmation about the Wizards starters. They're treating this game as a dress rehearsal. So the Wizards are the best players on the slate. Gary Trent or Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie for sure. AD has no one to guard him. Yeah, and we went over the stats earlier. I guess I can go over them a bit in this. If you guys watch my video on Pub Sports Radio, which you guys should go check out those videos. I do post my favorite plays over there daily. Go back to last year with the Los Angeles Lakers. Look at Anthony Davis's per minute rates, 1.27 on the year. That's good, obviously. But if you go here and take off the centers, and so we only get minutes from Anthony Davis at the 5, which is where he is playing today. His rates go through the roof. I know it is limited sample size, but it is worth mentioning that even in years past when he was with the Pelicans, he's an absolute stud when he's playing at the 5, averaging 1.47 fantasy points per minute at the 5 as opposed to playing at the 4. And I do believe that he plays into the third quarter. He played 28 minutes last game with Russell Westbrook, and now he's playing against this Golden State team, which is severely diminished. Now there's no Draymond Green if you want to talk about matchups like Anthony Davis quite a bit. Small forward for DK Cash. Let me look at my cheat sheet real quick for you, man. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm doing on Draftkings and FanDuel, full FanDuel lineup, you guys can check me out on Patreon. That is linked down below. Small forward, yeah, Scotty Barnes, LeBron James, and Kyle Kuzma are probably the best small forward plays. Okay. JTA or Kuz on DK. Yeah, that is like the question of the day for me. So I think JTA is in a much better position today on a per minute basis. But Kyle Kuzma, we know he's going to play mid to high 20s minutes. So if you're playing one lineup in cash, Kyle Kuzma is probably your guy. JTA is probably a better GPP play. But I think both of them are A tier plays for me. Kyle Kuzma just, I think, is a lot safer because of the minutes. Precious or 80 for me. Precious's minutes, Precious Achiuwa did well yesterday, and I feel like people got bailed out by playing him, but his minutes got cut back severely. He played sub 20 minutes with Ken Birch returning, and we're probably going to see a similar situation today. I think AD plays more minutes than him and is a much better per minute producer. Precious was just hitting every shot yesterday, and he was racking up the stocks. I don't think that necessarily happens today. Banton or Flynn on DK GPP. If you have the money for Flynn, I would prefer Flynn to Banton, but with how a lot of the lineups for me are coming along, I'm ending up on more Delano Banton because I'm needing a minimum price guy. Otto Porter in play. I don't think so as much. I think that they take it easy on the veterans on this Golden State team, especially with no Curry, no Draymond Green. Porter or JTA, DK, JTA for me. Trent Jr. or Anderson of Golden State, Anderson for me. Svi or Kuzma, Precious or Ellington and Anthony Davis. Ellington and Anthony Davis for me. Best spin up on DK, cash DK, it's Bradley Beal for me pretty easily. Kuzma or Barnes, Barnes. Porter or Barnes on FanDuel, Barnes for sure. Now, FanDuel is pretty straightforward with the lineups that you want to make. There's a couple decisions you have to make. I think at the second power forward spot, there is a decision. And at the second shooting guard position, there is a bit of a question there. But other than that, it should be pretty chalky. Point guard, small forward, and center, I think, are pretty much locked in with what the optimal should be. But yeah, thoughts on Wiggins. So yeah, I don't mind Wiggins today. Obviously he has a ton of upside with no Curry out there. But I do think Jordan Poole has surpassed him, as the leader of that offense when Steph Curry is not out there. And with Andrew Wiggins, the Warriors are pretty much using this as a rest game. And with Andrew Wiggins coming off of a sore knee, I'm pretty concerned with what minutes they do give him. If he steps on the court in the third quarter and plays, mid-20s minutes, I think that he is more than good at that 5.9K price tag and the second shooting guard spot over on FanDuel. But it is up. It is a concern for me. I could pay down a little bit, get to guys like Dinwiddie, Kuzma, who I know are for a fact that are going to play mid to high 20s minutes today. So Wiggins does carry a bit of a risk today, in my opinion. Harrell or Gafford for DK Cash? Probably Gafford, just given the price discount on him at 5,100. Dinwiddie, Beal, Kuzma, Harrell, Gafford. Too much for one lineup? No, I think that's fine. Any Chip Agnew love? No, I'm not on Chip Agnew all that much. You know, I think he's fine. Like, he's probably going to get a longer look than he has been recently. And, you know, he is good on a per minute basis. If you have him in your lineup and you think he's, and you like him, yeah, I would just go ahead and play him. I'm not going to steer you off of him. I don't think there's that many concerns with him. It's more so I just think there are better plays on the slate. Safer plays. Beal or LeBron? Beal for me. Thoughts on AD? Yeah, AD is a great play. AD and Gafford or Wiggins and Harrell? AD and Gafford 100%. Gafford or Achua? Gafford for me. I'm assuming you're talking about FanDuel. I think Gafford's minutes are slightly more secure, and I think that he is a better per minute producer. Go back to last year, averaging 1.3 fantasy points per minute with no Russell Westbrook on the court, 1.22 fantasy points per minute, and a large sample size, like over 500 minutes for Daniel Gafford. So high per minute producer, and should be locked into 22 to 24 minutes tonight. No Westbrook. Westbrook is probably my least favorite Lakers stud today. I think he takes the biggest hit this year on this Lakers team in general. And Anthony Davis is cheaper, and LeBron James is not that much more expensive, and I like LeBron more than Russell. So not on Westbrook all that much. On FanDuel, I think you should be playing Westbrook, though. FanDuel, do you like the power forward spot? I like Anthony Davis for sure. And then I think you should be filling the second spot with either Daniel Gafford or Precious Achua. People are playing Nico Mannion. Like, no joke, there's still edge in DFS, folks. No way people is playing Nico Mannion. They released him, man. That is pretty funny. Dude, it is crazy to me that they did release Nico. Nico's so young, and I thought he had talent, but yeah, pretty funny if people are going to be playing Nico Mannion tonight. Is Flynn or Dragic a better play than Westbrook on FanDuel? Not Dragic. I don't believe Dragic plays into the second half. Flynn could get it done, I suppose. I think Westbrook is a considerably better play than him with no salary cap, but Flynn could definitely get it done. And with the Lions going to be so chalky on FanDuel, playing Flynn over Westbrook can create quite the edge if that low possibility outcome does come to fruition. Favorite point guard combo GPP on FanDuel? I'm probably just going to stick with Westbrook and Poole and get different elsewhere. How many minutes Flynn gets tonight? I'm assuming like around 18-20 minutes. You know, even though that the Raptors are without Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby, they still have a lot of bodies today. So it's not like these guys are going to get crazy minutes. And so I think a lot of people are really just like going towards all these Raptors plays, which there's no doubt going to be like 4 of these guys that are going to end up being good plays. But there are so many bodies. They're still going to have to eat up all of these minutes. And it's just like nobody's really going to play large minutes for that Raptors team today. I think Scotty Barnes probably leads the team in minutes with like 24, 26 minutes. But yeah. Release, he stayed overseas. Did he not re-sign? I can't remember exactly what happened. I thought they released and then or was he on a two-way? I can't remember exactly what happened to Nico. And my Patreon subscriber, Banton or Ellington? Banton for me. Nico over GP3. The GP3 was not too bad in the Summer League this year. Didn't he have DS thoughts? I'm just not on him all that much. He's a spot-up shooter. That's typically guys I avoid on in DFS. Dinwiddie or Lee on FanDuel. Dinwiddie for sure. Ellington or Banton, Beal, Poole, Wiggins, AD, Harrell, Spencer, Bazemore, Kuz. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Yo, if you guys are in here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You know, like 25-30% of you guys that watch my videos are not even subscribed. I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that. Drop a like as well. Gonna be coming here every single day, preseason, regular season. If you guys want to join my Discord, that is completely free, linked down below in the description. But yeah, really appreciate you guys being here. LeBron and AD on FanDuel with Bazemore. I probably wouldn't get to Bazemore on FanDuel, just given that there's no salary. I would probably... Bazemore is small forward, right? Where's Bazemore? Yeah, he's small forward. I'd probably go with Scotty Barnes here. And if not Scotty Barnes with LeBron, I would probably go Kyle Kuzma. Flynn and Montrez are Poole and Banton. Poole and Banton. I like... Poole is pretty close to must play. I mean, like, I think he is a must play today on both sides. Ellington or Banton. He wanted more playing time. Yeah, that makes sense. He'll probably end up coming back. Play Gafford and Harrell together, or Harrell and Oliver and FanDuel. Gafford and Harrell for sure. Banton and Dinwiddie, or Kuzma and Flynn. Banton and Dinwiddie for me. But I missed it. But League or Toscano last piece. If I have the money, I'm playing Toscano there. If you guys didn't hear, since Steph Curry and Draymond Green are out, they already announced that Damian Lee and Juan Toscano Anderson are grabbing these starts. And Steve Kerr said that he wanted to get Damian Lee more minutes today with Damian Lee having such a good training camp. So they want to reward him with more playing time. And with no Curry, I mean, I think that these shots are going to be going his way. I'm expecting him to play mid-20s minutes. If you're playing like the Raptors guys in the low 4Ks and you can get up to Damian Lee, I would do so. I like Damian Lee quite a bit more than like Malachi Flynn and Delonto Banton. Ben and Dinwiddie. Oh, I just went over that. Y'all think... Oh, Damian Lee or Flint? Yeah, I just went over that. I like Damian Lee a bit more. Y'all think James and Davis play tonight? Yes, there's already confirmation that LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis are playing for the first time all together tonight, and Anthony Davis is starting at the 5. With them starting Anthony Davis at the 5, that leads me to believe that they're going to treat this more of like a dress rehearsal game, just because Anthony Davis does not like playing at the 5 because it's not good on his body. We know how fragile Anthony Davis is. And so I think they really want to see what they have in their starters, their starting lineup before the regular season gets going. They only wanted to play Westbrook and LeBron 2 games in the preseason. Now this is Westbrook's 3rd game. I doubt they push him to 4 games by playing him next game as well. So this is probably the only time we are going to see all 3 of these guys in the preseason playing together. And then LeBron James, he was only supposed to play 2 games. This is his 2nd game. He had already mentioned that he wants to play in the 3rd game as well. And they'll probably rest Anthony Davis next game as well. He has played pretty much all of these games. He's only missed 1. DeAndre Jordan played. Yeah, DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard are not in play for me because Anthony Davis is starting at the 5. It was way more viable when Anthony Davis was playing the 4 and Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan were splitting all of the 5 minutes, but that's not going to be the case tonight. FanDuel Center, it's going to be Montrez for me. Flynn or Peyton, the 3rd DK GPP. I'm going to go with Flynn there. I like getting JTA or Lee to close the night out. Yeah, I like both those guys quite considerably tonight. Bielitsa or Toscano? Toscano for sure. Toscano's also going to get some run at the 5. You know, this Golden State team through the season, I think we are going to see a lot of Draymond Green at the 5 and a lot of Juan Toscano Anderson backing him up at the 5. So I think they're going to experiment a lot with that today. With no Draymond, they're probably going to end up... So Juan Toscano Anderson is going to start next to Kevon Looney, and I'm expecting them to stagger their minutes after they get the first rotation through of both halves. And Juan Toscano Anderson is going to get a lot of run at the 5. He's a great play today. A lot better producer at the 5 than he is running around at the 3 and the 4. Poole or Dragic with Westbrook? Poole, absolutely. Thoughts on Trent Jr. or Kuzma? I like Kuzma a lot more. Good luck tonight, play. I appreciate you. Yeah, no problem, Brandon. Appreciate you guys being here. Lakers big 3 minutes. You know, we don't have any confirmation, but I think that there is a good opportunity that these guys see minutes into the 3rd quarter. You know, you go back to last year in their last preseason game, where they treated it like a dress rehearsal. They were playing Anthony Davis, LeBron James, mid to high 20s minutes. I think this is the game that they likely treat as a dress rehearsal, not the next game, for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. But the main one being Russell Westbrook this is going to be his 3rd game. And so I don't think they're going to push him to 4 games because they were only wanting to play him 2. So him playing 3 games is already crazy enough. And this is the first game that all 3 of these guys have played together. So I think that they end up pushing them into the 3rd quarter. But that is just pure speculation on my part. Of course, if we hear news that they're only going to play a half, we can adjust accordingly, and I'll let you guys know in the Discord and in the Patreon. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm playing tonight, as well as my updated game notes, you guys can join my Patreon, link down below. Thoughts on Wiggins? Yeah, Wiggins coming off a sore knee. And them already using this game kind of as a rest game with no Steph Curry, no Draymond Green. I'm pretty concerned with how much Andrew Wiggins ends up playing. I still think he's a fine play, but I think there is a lot more security in minutes from a lot of these other plays, both cheaper and more expensive. So I think he's fine. If you like him, go ahead and play him. Obviously, the minutes that he's given, he should be pretty active out there with no Curry. But I do think Jordan Poole has surpassed him as the the 1A guy when Curry is not out there. And Damian Lee is definitely going to steal some shots as well. Kuzma or Porter, going to be Kuzma for me. I trust his minutes a lot more. Gafford and Harrell or Gafford and Poole? Gafford and Poole. Poole is an elite play today. Wiggins worth a shot. Yeah, I think he's a fine play. Kuzma or LeBron. Wiggins or Svi Mikhailuk. At that point, I'd probably play Wiggins because I don't think Svi ends up playing that much more than Wiggins, even if he does. And Wiggins is a lot better per minute guy. Kuzma, just answer that. Davis or Barnes on DK? Davis for me. Davis. Bielitsa or Toscano Anderson? Toscano Anderson for sure. Damian Lee or Banton? Damian Lee for sure. If you have the money to get up from Banton to Lee, I would make sure to do that. Barnes or Davis, last forward spot. Davis. Westbrook, LeBron, and AD on FanDuel. Yeah, I think that's the go-to tonight. Harrell or Flynn? Harrell. I wonder if people are gonna be scared off of Westbrook on Draftkings or on FanDuel rather. Kuzma or Bazemore? Kuzma for sure. Harrell or Flynn? Harrell for sure. Yeah, so I mean, just like a quick recap, like I'm really focusing on Washington guys. Damian Lee, Juan Toscano Anderson. From the Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and then from Toronto, Delano Banton, Scotty Barnes. Beal or Dinwiddie? Beal for sure. Precious and AD or Gafford and Braun? That's close. Actually, not really. It's Gafford and Braun to me. I like Braun a bit more than AD, and I like Gafford more than Precious. Lee or Flynn? Lee. If you guys are in here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Only like 30% of you guys are subscribed to me. Would really appreciate that. Helps me get my work out to more people. We got 2 minutes till lock, guys. Make sure to lock in if you haven't done so already. Precious or Wiggins? I'm going to go with Wiggins there. Looney in play? Looney is not in play in my opinion. No. I think we're going to see a lot of Juan Toscano Anderson at the 5 tonight. Kind of experimenting with that. Beal or Spencer? Beal. But both amazing plays. We got 1 minute to lock, guys. Flynn or Westbrook? Westbrook. We are winding down in the stream. Make sure to lock in your lineups, guys. If you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the Discord and wherever else. Kent Galloway, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate that. Uncle Luke, thank you. Best utility under 5,900. Spencer Dinwiddie. If you don't already have him, then probably Wiggins right there. But I like Gafford more than Wiggins. Good luck, gentlemen. May the DFS gods be in your favor. Yep. JTR or Dinwiddie? FanDuel. Dinwiddie. It is lock time, guys. Best utility 4,300. Sorry. Lee is 4,400, correct? Yeah, so it's Delano Banton for me. Matthew Russell, thank you so much for subscribing. Reggie Dab as well. Thank you. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. I will be here back here tomorrow to put out another video in the morning. I'll have another video on Pub Sports Radio about 1 p.m. Central Time, and I will be here live streaming at the same exact time. We got a much bigger slate tomorrow, so a lot more to go over. Just a 2-gamer tonight, but I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be in the Discord chopping it up with you guys if we get any more news. But yeah, appreciate you guys all being here, all the new subscribers. Thank you for liking the video as well. But best of luck tonight, guys.